Good morning, everybody. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. While it's a good morning to those of you in the UK, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are, and welcome back. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. As I just said, check out the... Oh, my own video's playing. Apologies, people. I don't know why my video's on my phone, but as I was saying, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're checking the pin message, because while this particular one is a neutral stream, I thought to have a bit of fun and let me do my own Arsenal unpopular opinions based on this season. Now, last time I did it, people said there weren't too many unpopular opinions, so it is what it is. But as much as I'm an Arsenal fan, people, it's transfer season, it's merry-go-round sort of stuff. Anything can happen, people. And obviously, I'm a fan of football first, Arsenal second, so I like to talk about everything. We're going to get into Pochettino and Daniel Levy, or specifically Pochettino's anticipated return from Spurs. You know, a bit of egg on face for for Levy, in my opinion, and I'm keen to see how this one happens. You know, you've obviously seen what Conte's become available. Allegri was available. He's gone to Real Madrid. Well, he's gone to Juventus. Sorry, he's not waiting for Real Madrid. Zidane officially, he said he's keeping it moving. There's a lot of managers available, and certain people might be looking at the club. I support in Arsenal. Obviously, Spurs need a manager. People might even say, based on yesterday's antics, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should probably leave. So it is what it is. Oli says, you know, they probably need a checkbook manager at this point. I mean, if you're talking about Spurs, didn't they try that with Jose? You can have the checkbook, but you need to have money in the bank balance. Or when you write these checks, it's not getting cash. So it's a bit irrelevant. You know, good evening and them things there. Hope you're all doing well and safe. Man said, unpopular opinion, but Man United have had a worse season than Arsenal. False second place and bottled the final. I hear what you're saying about that sort of stuff, but I wouldn't say that. I would trade places with you to be in a cup final and be in the Champions League next season in a heartbeat. South London, I mean, you know, I should already be part of your daily routine. What are you trying to say, my guy? But love for that anyways. Big up all the members locked in and things like that. Gonna let you lot filter in before I start reading off Pochettino and all of these sort of things and what the Athletic has said. I actually want to cover England today as well, man, if possible. So we will do that, man. We'll cover a couple bits and pieces, man. I actually don't know. Is Rance doing the show today? He ain't said nothing. So, boy, I don't know. I might have to push that one earlier. I can't wait forever, you know. So, yeah, I hope you're well and safe. I'm defo good. Shout out to Una Emery for winning the cup yesterday. Bit harsh calling Conte a checkbook manager, but, you know, back the man and you can get what you want, man. Hakimi to Arsenal incoming. I wouldn't bet on it, but why not, man? Why not? Why not? Anyways, people, big up you lot. There's 50 there's 61 of you locked in. Please make sure that says 61 likes. And you know what? We might as well get straight into it, really and truly. There's no point waiting, man. Well, in fact, before that, I understand that, man. It's all banter, South London, man. Micah said, I'm telling you, man, we're going to regret not bringing in any top quality managers available right now. You reviewing last night's game's final. We can go over it. But I mean, I covered everything in my watch along of that game yesterday. So if you want that chase code, I'd suggest going back over there, really and truly. So it is what it is in that regards, man. I mean, we're looking at Emre with rose tints. You know, Emre's a quality manager and he done well. And yes, the players are a problem, but we can't act like Emre didn't fuck up the final and fuck up that season as well. The players, you know, are the problem. As I said, several of those players have played under several men, but Emre was a problem at Arsenal. He seems to be where he is now is calm. A man said, which pagan disliked 3 minutes into the vids already? It doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, let's make sure we're crushing them. They're free to dislike, we're free to like. So make sure you're doing up that one. But let's get into this now, man. Let's get into this. Courtesy of the Athletic. Obviously, I woke up this morning like you all and was a bit shocked to hear Pochettino back. Now, not really shocked because you have seen rumours for the last couple of days to last 2 weeks of rumblings that, you know, he's unhappy at PSG and all of those sort of things. Obviously, today, they've all been accelerated. So let me get into it straight away. And, you know, to be fair, Spurs have been linked with Nuno. They've been linked with, who's the other one? Roberto Martinez, it was yesterday. Today, it's Pochettino. He's got a year left on his deal. He did win 2 trophies, but he did bottle the the Liga to Leo, and obviously the Champions League. That's where you're probably going to win or lose your job at PSG. They didn't do what they needed to do. They didn't get to the final. So, and I think they could have. So maybe there's question marks. I mean, Pochettino, I'm sure he probably had more authority at Spurs and more of a way of doing things and whatnot. At least he could return to Spurs with a trophy, just like Foyth, you know, him and Foyth. Maybe that was always their plan. Villarreal and him at PSG, they will win some trophies and come back. Why not, man? In that regard, you know, Bell's first trophy this season since actually playing for Spurs and returning to Spurs. So it's a bit mad in that regard. Shout out to Capoue for also leaving Spurs and winning the title. Obviously, Spurs fans, I've got to have a bit of banter. But moving forward, this is what the Athletic said. Ignore the bullet points, people. While I love my Tommy Hilfiger hat, it needs to come out the way. I can't see my screen. Ignore the bullet points. I'm going to get at it. Or in fact, before, I might as well say it now. My first thoughts were, I don't think he should have ever been sacked personally. You know, I know it might sound like I'm looking at it with rose tints and things like that, but I don't think he should have been sacked. I personally feel as a neutral, well, not even as a neutral, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen Pochettino make Spurs the most feared opposition sort of thing. And they did hit a wobbly patch, but that was due to, that's always going to happen when you're having, look at Klopp. Klopp's had great seasons and made great progress. I know he's got top 4, but there's always going to be a bit of a wobble, which was this season. And I think Levy kind of did him wrong. Maybe at the time, Poch and Levy, they agreed, you know, we both need to take a break from each other. It is what it is, but I thought Pochettino could have been there for a minute, built something. Personally, I felt he weren't quite backed in the transfer window. Like I look at Jose Mourinho's window last year, he wanted a striker. He got everything he wanted, he got. Now, in hindsight, some of these signings didn't work out, but he got it. I don't think he should have ever left. If he is to return, I mean, what was the reason you left and now the reason you're going to return? Surely you'd want some assurances and surely you'd want to be backed properly, because on the face of it, you know, they have an over-reliance on Son. And speaking to a lot of my Spurs supporting friends, they agree that, you know, Son look a bit jaded towards the end of the season. They're obviously over-reliant on Harry Kane. Kane might not be there. Bale, who's done quite good and came into his own in the second half of the season, is gone back to Madrid. Whether he's going to go back to Spurs is another thing. I'm sure Spurs got targets, but there's a need for a rebuild. Who better to oversee a rebuild than Pochettino? I swear when the man came back into the team, before he left, the man said, we have to make a painful rebuild. Almost shades of what Conte was saying at his previous clubs. So who better for a rebuild? Now, obviously, Pochettino, there's a lot of expectation at PSG. If you're not doing the job, it's not going to happen. And there's a lot of politics. So I'm sure he is longing to return to Spurs and things like that. I mean, there's a year left on his deal at PSG. They are looking at other targets. But, you know, I'm sure he doesn't want to leave a former club like this. I personally would try and win Liga next season and then keep it moving. 100 of you locked in. Please make sure you hit the like button, man. But courtesy of the Athletic, you know, again, they need like I said, they need a man for the rebuild. Bale gone, Kane leaving. I don't know what other people are saying. Yesterday it was Martinez. I knew there was no way in hell that Ryan Mason would be in charge. And I think Pochettino comes back, Ndombele starts playing, and he shows everyone he's a quality player. Maybe even Dele Alli gets a look in again. But allegedly, Tottenham are in talks with Mauricio Pochettino about a shock return to the club this summer. Pochettino, who was sacked by Spurs only 18 months ago and appointed as PSG head coach in January, is attracted by the idea of a quick return to the London club and to English football after failing to settle in the French capital. But while reappointing Pochettino would also be attractive to Chairman Daniel Levy, as he tries to repair relations with fans and relaunch the team towards the Premier League's top 4, it will be very difficult to pull off. So there might be compensation due, and maybe Pochettino will have to, you know, hand in his resignation, which again would make it difficult. There's still 1 year left on Pochettino's PSG contract, and the Liga club do not want the upheaval of a third head coach change in as many years. They would face another summer of disruption only a few months after sacking Thomas Tuchel in December. And especially after confirming Neymar's deal, allegedly Camavinga's joining in talks for Mbappe. You know, who knows? Again, you can't bring in Allegri to PSG now because he's gone back to Juventus. You could bring in Conte. You know, you could bring in Zidane, which that seems to be Juventus or PSG, where Zidane seems to be linked with. But who knows? If Pochettino does, however, ultimately decide that he wants to return to Tottenham, he would most likely have to resign in order to force his way out. And for me, if I'm Pochettino, I'm only going back to Spurs. Yeah, there's love, there's romance with it, but I'm only going to Spurs if there's a clear plan. If the reasons why I kind of couldn't take Spurs to the next level, you're making sure they're kind of there now. If I need money, you're spending it. If I need to rebuild this side, you're spending it. If I want to sell, need to spell. Because you look at the the core of that side. I think Toby can be used for the next year or two, but again, he's a ticking time bomb. Time catches up with everyone. They're going to need a new keeper for Loris. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a tune out of Doherty, but right back looks a shaky area. You know, in midfield, they need a couple of quality players. I personally feel there's too much of a over-reliance on Son and Kane might not be there, so Son will. Bale might return, he might not. So we'll have to see. So again, they're going to need surgery. Pochettino, personally, I wouldn't want to put my neck on the line for a team that's in the conference and a team that needs a rebuild if I'm not being given assurances by Daniel Levy that we're doing this properly. Because I would say to Levy, I'm not being funny, but look what I did for Spurs. You didn't give me a transfer window like you gave Jose. So what is it there? And for Levy, he has to get it right. The gamble with Jose Mourinho was a costly error. You know, you backed him in the market. You gave him a big contract. You gave him a big payout. It has to go right with Pochettino. With Pochettino, I think of stability. You know, that's the main thing. Stability. I think of project. I think he's a good manager. I think he's got the energy needed for a rebuild. But, you know, the whole club has to sing from the same hymn sheet. At a time, it looked like Spurs. It looked like the fans knew it, the players knew it, and the manager knew it. It's like they just needed a couple more signings. Them times there when Dele Alli was kind of the man and Kane was the man, like he still is. They just needed a couple more signings to shift the burden. Obviously, I think they've gone quite past that. They need a rebuild, and it starts from defense, really, in my opinion. But although Pochettino has... Sorry, people, I'm skipping ahead. Pochettino's spell in Paris has been mixed so far. PSG won the French Super Cup and Coupe de France and got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. But they were knocked out of Europe and at that point by Man City and have lost their Liga title to Lille after suffering 3 defeats in 6 matches between February and April. This is only the second time in 9 seasons that PSG have failed to win their domestic championship. Who won it last time? Was it Montpellier with Giroud? I'm sure. I could be wrong. But although Pochettino has enjoyed the chance to work in an elite club, he has found his role in Paris to be less powerful than the one he had at Spurs in 5.5 years working with Levy. It obviously was going to be, you know, for several reasons. You know, they're trying to win the Champions League and them things there. You're obviously going to have less of a say. You're obviously going to have more politics. You're dealing with bigger prima donnas and bigger personalities. I'm sure Montpellier's won Liga. I'm sure Monaco's won Liga. I don't know why that's in my head. I'm not too sure on the chronological order, but I'm sure in recent years, Montpellier and Monaco have both won the Liga. I could be wrong. But anyways, people, so I don't know what Pochettino was expecting in that regards, people, but the Argentine has found himself facing the same internal issues at PSG as his predecessor, Thomas Tuchel, did. And you look how he's thriving at Chelsea right now. According to reports in Italy, PSG are concerned about the situation and are sounding out replacements. So this could also be Pochettino putting pressure on PSG somehow to do something. Again, football is international, and Fabrizio Romano seems to be reporting a lot. But again, reports coming out of Italy on a French-based team with an Argentine gaffer and an English-based club. Again, I'm not too sure what to read into that. The prospect of a return to a club where he was so popular is said to be attractive to Pochettino. We all know he managed Spurs, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read that all out. Apparently, the players are aware of the possibility of Pochettino returning, are excited by the prospect, and that's good. But again, there needs to be a plan because, you know, eventually the novelties, like it did the first time, the novelty of a new manager is going to wear off and you're going to need to get down to the basics. It's a bit like them Arsenal players. They always get horny for a new manager, and then when the novelty wears off and you're halfway through the season, they start moving mad. One has to wonder why Man United, if, you know, they're probably not going to sack Oli. He got second in a cup final, but one has to wonder, Pochettino, he seems here for the taking. Why don't they take a chance? You know, you've got Conte, you know, you had Allegri, you've got Poch at this moment in time. Man United, who knows? You could do Harry Kane double sweep sort of thing. As you know, Spurs are falling away and they're in the Conference League. So again, rebuild is going to be more important now than it ever been. Levy apparently remains friends with Pochettino. So again, the exit can't have damaged too many relations. He spoke about... a key part is Levy has admitted Spurs have lost sight of some of their key priorities and what is truly in their DNA. So again, Pochettino has made them the most fearless in recent years, in my opinion. Who better to restore this DNA or implement a new one? You know, to dare is to do. Yeah, they ain't won title, so I don't know about any of that, but it is what it is, people. Pochettino has been seen as the benchmark of the type of coach that Spurs would want to appoint. And now there's a chance that the man himself could be a candidate for his old role. Bit of egg in faces, really. as you know, Spurs have been working hard, and you know, Graham Potter's on the list, Ten Hag of Ajax is on the list, Ralph Rangnick is on the list, Roberto Martinez is on the list. They tried to dream chase for former Bayern Munich gaffer and soon to be German national team coach Hansi Flick, but they're the sort of guys you got to go for. So Nuno was probably never on this list. So I don't know what Nuno's going to do. Maybe Nuno goes to Portugal. I don't know if Porto have a new gaffer, but I swear their manager left. Again, it doesn't. While Pochettino looks the favourite, and I'm sure that's where it's all going to go. It says here, none of these 4 shortlist candidates have been ruled out. Indeed, given the difficulties inherent in getting Pochettino out of PSG, they very much remain in the frame. And again, Levy, if he is going to have cold feet, if anything, you might think, well, it was costly bringing in Jose. It's going to be a costly operation getting Pochettino out of PSG. Again, if it goes left, what could be said? Sometimes it's, you know, it is a good romance, and you know, it's a good you know, it's like a man and a woman have broken up. They've seen that they love each other and they've rekindled, but again, these things can turn sour. So for me, there needs to be a plan. When you look past the romance of him returning and him being Mr. Spurs and making them the most feared, there needs to be a plan, or it can go south really quickly, because you can bring in Pochettino all you like. You need to back him in the market. That Spurs team needs serious rebuilding, and even the good players are getting on a bit, you know. But you know, they know more than me. Apparently, Ten Hag is still popular, having impressed in his 3.5 years at Ajax, winning 2 Eredivisie titles there. Even though he signed a new deal with the Dutch Giants on April the 30th, it does not mean he would be out of Spurs' reach. But there is no doubt that Pochettino would be the choice of most Spurs fans, if there is any way for him to return. His popularity has only grown since his departure. So again, we're gonna have to see. Me personally, I think it's gonna happen. You know, I don't want it to happen because I really rate Pochettino as a gaffer, but it is what it is in that regards, people. And again, for me, they need to just back the man properly, tell man the proper project. Don't just gas me that I'm returning to Spurs. There needs to be something underneath the hood, because you know, Spurs are 7th. You know, they've had a good couple of years. They're 7th. They're probably further away to them winning a trophy than they've ever been. So it's going to need tough decisions. It's going to need a rebuild. It's going to need effort. So if you're going to bring a man in, make sure he's backed properly, in my humble opinion. But that's that in relation to my Pochettino comments. What are you lot making of this Pochettino return to Spurs rumours? Return to Spurs rumours, we call it. So yeah, man, that's that in that regards, people. What are you lot saying? He isn't coming to United. The Glazers like a competent manager. What you saying Pochettino ain't competent? I'm not sure if that's fair on him, but okay. I don't think you can call Oli competent and not Poch, but I might have misread. If I was Poch, I wouldn't risk going back to Spurs. Poch on his way back, who wants to win an Uber Eats Cup? Well, Poch couldn't even win that, and I think that's quite disrespectful, my guy. That's a bit bland way of looking at it, my humble opinion. But you do what you need to do, man. If certain other players carried on like Kane before the end of the season, they'd be labelled a disgrace. Facts. Zidane, PSG. I swear PSG will win the Champions League then. I'm not too sure. DG, do you think Kane would consider it staying if Poch joins? I think he would. I think he would. Obviously, that would tip the balance. That's your guy. I think all Kane wants is a project. But where it's a bit different now is, you know, they've done the Jose thing. They've done the Poch thing. You know, they clearly need a rebuild. You know, really, you know, they can. I'm not saying they need to sell everyone, but they need a rebuild. You know, I remember when Pochettino, when they were at White Hart Lane and they had Kyle Walker having a great season, Danny Rose and the 2 Belgian centre halves and Loris behind them. They were moving mad. Spurs had one of the best defenses in the league. I'm not too sure they can say that. I'm pretty sure Arsenal have kept more clean sheets than them. And regardless of our improvements or not, I think that tells you you're being terrible. You look at Loris, you need to look at a long-term replacement. Toby Alderweireld, they're over-relying on him. As someone that's seen my team rely on David Luiz and a past it Koscielny, who was still better than what we had, it's a dangerous game. You know, who knows? Doherty might play better next season, but I think right-back's an area that looks weak. Aurier's decent, but he's got a mistake in him. Left back Reguilon's calm. I know he's had a terrible end to the season and stuff, and they try to say he's better than Tierney, lol. But there's a need for a rebuild, a serious rebuild. You know, you're going to need to bring in players, I feel, on par with Kane and Son, and someone that can shift the burden of them, similar to how they kind of tried to bring in Bell. They probably need a bit of midfielders. My point being, it's a serious rebuild. I'm sure Kane He's Mr. Arsenal. He's made it, but he's adopted home of Spurs. Why would he would love to win a trophy for Spurs, but he's got to a final. He's been part of the rebuilds. It's not that it's now or never, but it's kind of now or never, really and truly. And he wants to improve as a player. I'm sure Poch can improve him, but if an opportunity to learn from the likes of, I don't know, let's just say Pep Guardiola, the chance to win trophies and improve as a player, something you can't really turn down. And for Kane, it's all fun and games saying rebuild 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And Kane is one of them. I feel Kane, even when he does kind of get past his peak, when he's in his 30s, I still think he's going to score goals. The rebuild's good for him. It's good for, you know, Niall John, Dane Scarlett, Davinson Sanchez, if he's still there, Tanganga, all of these guys. 2 years is nothing for them. 2 years for Kane, I swear suddenly he's 31. You know, he's won a top goal scorer at a World Cup. He's won top goal scorer in the Prem a couple of times. He's won both awards in terms of assists and goals. And he's got no collective achievements to match it. So I do think Poch means he's more likely to stay, but it's a difficult one. And one, I think, where Kane has to move with he has to use his heart, but his brain. I get vibes of Thierry Henry and Cesc Fabregas leaving Arsenal when I think about Kane leaving Spurs, people. But that's a good timestamp. Will Poch return mean Kane staying? For what it's worth, I think Kane's capping. I think Kane's going to stay. I think Kane just wants to see a sort of project and things like that, and he'll stay. I don't think he really wants to push the boat out and whatnot. But I don't know. He might. If I was him, pardon me, I'd go City personally. But will City go for him? Because again, you look at it, Inter Milan want to sell players. Could you grab a Martinez there on the low? I don't know. I really don't know. What are you lot saying? Why would Poch have anything to do with Kane? He ain't winning anything. Not sure what you mean, but love for your comment nonetheless. And this is it. Son and Kane ain't got time for the rebuild. Exactly that, man. I defo see Poch going Real Madrid. That's a shout. And I think that's one that we kind of put to the back burner and things like that. Hopefully, you know, I don't want him to come back and manage Spurs. Because like I said, he was the most I have seen Spurs be. I've feared Spurs the most in my lifetime under Pochettino. So I wouldn't mind that, man. I wouldn't mind him going anywhere else. If Levy wants to go cut price again, it'll be a big mistake for Poch to go back to Spurs. You know, is there any Spurs fans with opinions? You know, I wonder if Real Madrid will pounce for Poch. They need to rebuild the team again. Maybe Poch is thinking, you know what, this big club thing is not really for me. There's too much politics. If there's politics at PSG, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's politics at Real Madrid, really and truly. Don't want Spurs getting Poch back. He's the perfect man to rebuild. Should have backed him instead of sacking him and giving him no transfers for 2 windows. Over 100 man in here need to hit 100 likes. Where are we at in the like button, folks? We're only at 78, so you lot are doing me dirty, man. Hit the like button, people. Poch might be a myth. Spurs is his level. I think that's harsh. You know, he's already won trophies at PSG, so he's a level above them. Spurs fans, I'm never going to miss an opportunity to take a cheap dig, man. I can't lie. Spurs will surprise a lot of people in this transfer market. They need to surprise their fans. Like, they need to. Same as Arsenal, bro. Same as United. You, man, don't pull your fingers out. It's more nonsense, really and truly. PSG have no fullbacks, and Poch relies on his fullbacks, i.e. Walker, Trippier, Rose. Okay. Well, what other comments have we got? Make sure you're hitting that like button, people. DG, your shirt looks like a Spurs jersey. I don't think you've ever seen a Spurs jersey. Last time I checked, Lyle Scott could never beat that. Don't think you're watching football, but it's what it is. A man said, how about coming to Arsenal? I'd love Poch to come to Arsenal, but them things there is not going to happen, innit? Would you take Donnarumma? Of course, but again, he's probably going Juventus or doing some other stuff before he thinks of Spurs, man. For Kane, it's now or never where trophies are concerned. He'd leave Spurs if he has ambition. Spurs have no money and losing players. Poch is the best they can do. They need it. Well, I think Arsenal, Spurs, Man United, they need builder managers that obviously if you give them money, they can sign quality players, and they should all be allowed to bring in quality players, but they can work with what they've got. Bring in guys that might be lesser profiles and work with that. Arteta has shown he can't do that right now. Ollie's mixed results in that regards, even to put it nicely, probably shown he hasn't. Jose sure as hell showed he didn't. And Ryan Mason's just bugging out, really and truly. Hit up the like buttons, people. What Benitez did at Newcastle, I would love him at Arsenal. I love Rafa Benitez, but I'd give that one a pass. So yeah, man, I respect your opinion though, but I'd give that one there a pass personally. So yeah, man, interesting comments in relation to Pochettino, really, and you know, it'd be good for the league, I guess, to have him back and all those sort of things. Bit egg on face to, you know, I wouldn't personally away from Spurs. I don't know if I would want to. Well, I joined in January. I'm one of the only PSG managers not to win Liga, and then I'm skating out a couple of months after. I'd feel I would, again, away from Spurs and the project they might give you and how he's feeling, I would feel a bit like I'd feel like a failure. I would want to see out next season. I'd want to bring the league. I'd want a proper full season in the Champions League and all of that. Again, it's up to Pochettino, but it just feels I wouldn't want to. But away from, if I'm Poch, I would want to return to Spurs, but I at least want to wait out. Now, obviously, Spurs don't have time to wait. Poch don't have time to wait. PSG don't have time to wait, really and truly. So it's an interesting one. It's a very interesting one. And who said the off season was gonna be dodgy, man? Make sure you're hitting the like button. Chris, I hope you're good, man. Just said, yo, DG. Hope you're doing well and safe, man. Zidane is available now. An ambitious big club that Arsenal pretends to be would get him. Okay. Didn't Spurs sack Poch in the first place because he was losing it? You'd have to ask a Spurs fan. Not good for Poch's CV. I'd stay at PSG for another 2 years. I'd at least win the league, man. I don't see Poch being able to sustain working with world class. Well, to be fair with that, to be fair with you, you know, again, it might be said at face value, but the Mbappes, the Neymars, the Di Marias, they all big up the training sessions and things like that. It don't seem like he has a problem managing the players. There must be some politics around the team or above board that's going on, or obviously maybe just having an L attached to his name of Leo winning the title and whatnot. It's a madness, you know. You see them little players dropping drill tunes and that. Imagine if that happened in England. This is why we need to allow our players scope to show their personality. Man said, what team do you support, broski? Like, what channel are you on? I know I'm talking about Spurs, but what channel are you on? I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. Fraser has said, do you think, well, sorry, Fraser, your thing is here, man. Do you think Arteta will get sacked? If he carries on with what happened last season, then, boy, he won't make it past December, in my opinion. But if you're asking me today, tomorrow, this week, no, I don't see that happening, man. I really don't. It's a complicated situation for Kane. Yeah, just as I explained, it's very complicated. Very complicated. There's no right or wrong, but for me, it's where you feel happy. If you feel Poch comes in or whatever, and you have a chance of winning the trophy, why not? But I personally, if I'm Kane, there's the Poch. We've done up the Poch thing before. We've done Jose now. We've done, you know, we've been around a lot, and I'm seeing Walker go. I'm seeing other people go and do other things. I'm seeing time kind of pass me. Like he said, he's here, he's watching Champions League and that, and he's not involved. I personally would want to go. And I know Pochettino's being linked to Spurs again, but a few weeks ago, what did you hear? Pochettino's been chatting to Kane indirectly, maybe not necessarily to move, but he's been talking to him. They've kept in contact since he's gone to PSG. Are we going to be naive and not imagine the thought of trophies and all those sort of things? Because a lot of that was said about Poch, how Poch needs to win a trophy, and it's not going to happen there. In an ideal way, in a weird way, they've been proved right. He ain't won the league, but he's won he's won 2 trophies. He's got that slap to his name. So it is what it is, man, in that regard. Do I think Kane will actually get his move? It depends, because it's a gazy market, because I feel there's a lot of players up for sale, but at the same way, Kane, there's only about probably maybe 4 or 5 clubs he could go to. You know, ironically, I don't think he's going to go PSG, but you can imagine a world where PSG would look at him. You know, Real Madrid, Man United, Man City, you know, I'll throw Juventus in there. You can throw Barca in there if you want, but I don't think Barca, Juventus are interested. I think Real Madrid would be more interested, but surely if you're them, you're trying to grab a Haaland, you're trying to grab a Mbappe. That goes for a lot of teams. So I do think he gets his move. I think City, apparently Chelsea want him the most, but obviously that's going to be the hardest to do. I think City could do it, man. I think, you know, just get him to talk to his ex-teammate in Kyle Walker. I think he could, you know, the City one, you can leave with your head held high sort of thing. So yeah, man, I would do up City personally, but it's up to Kane. I do see a reality, but he's going to have to force it at some stage. He's going to have the difficult conversation, really and truly. And I'm saying Pochettino's going nowhere, my G. Hopefully, because I think he's sick. Twin Football said, I would love for Poch to come back. Levy needs to give him some money, actual transfer cash, 100%, man. I can't lie. I'm sure he wants Alan Shearer's record, but he needs to make the conscious decision. Do I want collective trophies, which he said, because Kane is a legend. Let's not lie. Kane is a Premier League legend, a world-class player. The stats speak for himself. You know, just using our eyes and watching him, he's a quality player. You know, won the World Cup at man, I love him to win the World Cup. It would have come on, but won the top goal scorer at the World Cup. You know, scoring mad goals in the Premier League. The problem is, it's Kane. Like, it's not Kane has won champs, Kane has won Euro. It's not Tottenham has won this and Tottenham has won that, and Kane's obviously a player. It's Kane. So again, I'm sure the individual trophies give him warmth and he loves it. But you know, man, I don't wake up and say I want to be top. Well, maybe you do if you're a striker, but anyone I spoke to that played up front, they all said anyone with a dream, they wanted to. Of course, you want to win Golden Boot and stuff, but the goal was to win the Prem, to win this, to win the other, not necessarily that. So he's got the personal accolades. He needs the collective ones. And are you going to get that at Spurs? You never know. If Spurs go on a run in the FA Cup, if they go to a final, he might say, do you know what? We got to a final last year. Poch could maybe pattern something. I don't know. Maybe they'll win Conference League. I don't know. But again, it's I would say for both parties, they can't be naive. Like, Levy can't be naive and think Pochettino's just going to be able to work magic with no resources. For Poch, don't be naive and think because you're returning, certain things are going to happen. You know, I'd say both of them need absolute clarity over what they're trying to do should he return. And you hear they're good friends and they've kept in contact. So you'd imagine that is going to be the case, man. But who knows, man? Who knows? Man, Yasir said Arsenal 2020/21 unpopular opinions. Mikel Arteta could have achieved top 4 this season. What a title, GG. I said unpopular opinions for a reason, my guy, because it's just my unpopular opinions. That's what I feel. Make sure you're all there. We'll get back. We're talking about neutral stuff right now, but we'll get back to Arsenal later. That's at 3 p.m. UK time. So obviously, adjust your time clock and do what you need to do in that regards, man. A man said Poch got more chance of winning the Prem with PSG than Tottenham. Yo, he got jokes still in it. Oh, man. I don't think anyone's bigger than the club. I don't think anyone's bigger than any club, so I won't say Kane is bigger than Tottenham, but for banter purposes, I'll agree personally. Where do you think Zidane will go? It seems like it can't be Juventus again because Allegri's gone back, so who knows? He might come to the Prem or he might go PSG, really. Frenchman, ain't managed in France. Maybe that's that, man. Is what it is. Right, boy. The thumbnail's messed there. Don't know why it says got there. Love act. Don't know why it says got there. Copied and pasted it from my notes. So let me edit that. You're right. Change the size of that. Sorry, people. One sec. Let me export that again. Hopefully nothing beaky happens. So yeah, let's go again. Export. Yeah, you're exporting. Big up the 240 of you locked in. Why is it not exporting? What's going on here? What's going on? Oh, apologies, people. Shout out for catching that one. Let me change that up now. So yeah, people, get your opinions. Keep bringing in your opinions and all those sort of things. Make sure you're spamming that like button. Let me change this thumbnail really quick. All right, Ak. You're the headphone Donny. You're Arteta's headphone Donny. You just gave man the tactics, switched up the tactics. Love for that one. Good save. But we go again. What do we call that one? WWW, I think. Yeah, there we go. Good spot. Fixed. Oh, we're not fixed yet. We're fixed now. We go again. So yeah, back on task, man. Zidane should come replace Arteta. I don't know my true opinions on Zidane, really. I mean, he's won Champions League, so I rate him. He's clearly got tactics and that. He clearly is good with managing the elite players. He said Zidane, so man will listen, but I don't know, man. Big up yourself, S. I appreciate that. Bro, you can get the Conte to Arsenal one out your heads immediately. I would love Conte to come to Arsenal, but if a man's leaving Inter Milan because they've won the league title and they're telling him we have to sell and do this, that tells me he wants to build upon something. He wants to win it again. try and, you know, topple Juventus's dominance. So if them man ain't got peas, boy, he's not gonna have time for this Arsenal nonsense, bro. He's not gonna listen to you need to use El Nene because we're trying to do this and that. So you want to get the Conte one out your head, but from a coaching perspective, it wouldn't be pretty football, but I would love it. Oh, who wouldn't want Conte? Who wouldn't want a proven winner managing their club? You know, who wouldn't want that, really and truly? That's a shout. South London said, I think Zidane will take over from Deschamps after the Euros. Good shout, man. Maybe he does up international ones, man. Bro, Zidane ain't trying to manage El Nene. Come on, broski. Love to the Kenyan viewers out there. I rate Zidane. You can't not rate Zidane, bro. Man's got Ella Champions Leagues and he's won the league, in it. Like, well, let's be real, he's certified. But I don't know where I stand on him. I don't think, maybe I'm a bit ignorant because I'm not watching him week in, week out. But I just feel, even going off the Champions League, I think he fucked up his tactics, and I'm not too sure. I would take him because, you know, we've got worse. But you get the point, really and truly. Should we move on and look at Conte or something? Sorry, people. Let me delete all of these notes. We don't need to look at the Athletic. Oh, I almost deleted the wrong one. Let's go with Conte. What's the minutes? Let's call it. So yeah, Conte, folks. Let's get into Conte now. As you lot know, Conte kept it moving. Pardon me. Keeping it neutral and stuff like that. As you lot know, Conte. Apparently, Lukaku wants to leave, and again, they need to raise player sales, so that could mean Hakimi, Lukaku, Lautaro Martinez. Someone might take a bid on Skriniar. You know, there's a couple players. Shout out to Conte, man. That's their first title in 11 years. Apparently, Allegri's on the potential list of replacements. However, we've seen this morning that Allegri's going back to Juventus, so it probably means Lazio manager Inzaghi will take over. Where Conte goes, he could go Real Madrid. He could go PSG. You know, he could come back to this to the Prem. Maybe United. You know, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's moving mad, then it could be one of those ones there, people. Conte's done fantastic at Inter Milan just by watching. For me, watching Serie A, it's been fantastic. And he seems, you know, even when you look at a couple of the clips that come out, how he's training and stuff, he is a very serious man. You know, ask Arturo Vidal. But you can see a lighter side to him, how good he is with the players. He knows how to have a laugh and a joke. You lot saw his little boxing match and things like that. As you lot know, Antonio Conte has left his job as manager of Internazionale. Let me just say Inter Milan. I don't know why I tried to do up the Italian thing. This is why I should just stick to English. But 3.5 weeks after leading the club to their first Serie A in 11 years. So I was right about that. After talks on Wednesday, the former Chelsea manager and the club agreed to part ways, with the 51-year-old receiving a payout of €7 million, £6 million. He had 1 year remaining on his 13 million salary. So maybe he thought, you know what, like a lot of managers, the Leo boss, there's 3 guys who have bust out. The Leo boss, the Inter Milan guy. There's another league where somebody's won the title and bust out. Sometimes there's no better way of leaving than at the top. There's no better time to leave than when you've done that. Because again, next season is going to be a struggle, because you can imagine Juventus are going to be hungry for their title. They're going to want to invest. Typically, when you're at the top, the only way is down. Everybody wants your spot. So there's that. And there's no better time to invest than when you're winning. I know the thing that you see with a lot of clubs, and maybe even Liverpool suffered from it, and you see it now with their struggles typically, you know, you kind of think the players are going to repeat the same feat and they're at a level they're potentially not saying they're good players. So they do need to reinvest. And if they're not going to do that, Conte's not on it really and truly, is he? Because again, he's clearly a prideful man. This isn't the first time we've seen it. And like it says here, Conte concluded his ambitions were at odds with Inter's plans, with the club preparing to sell about 80 million of players this summer because of the state of their finances. Conte wanted backing for signings and a greater chance to build on his success. So again, he probably wanted to, you know, go on and win Serie A again. I'm sure he obviously wanted to try and win, you know, Champions League and do whatever, win the Italian Cups and just win everything. Who doesn't, people? So his ambitions are going here. Inter Milan are saying, you know what, it's good that we win, but some of your key players might have to go. You can't blame him really and truly. And selling man is one thing. It's okay, cool. If you're going to sell Hakimi, who are you grabbing for me at right back? You know, because if there's a succession plan, everybody can go. But if there's no succession plan or bringing in someone who's levels, there's no point, in my opinion. He wanted back in. He took over in 2019. He reached this Europa League in his first season. You know, obviously lost. He won. You know, he won the league by 12 points. So you're telling me you don't want to build on that? Inter Milan, I mean, Juventus are not going to accept, they're not going to accept losing the league, let alone being double figures off the league standing. So they need to invest. Clearly, Inter Milan's board and that have a different way. I mean, a man said it's harder not to win a title at PSG, Max. Inter said in a statement, an agreement has been reached with Antonio Conte for the termination of his contract by mutual consent. The club would like to thank Antonio for the extraordinary work that he has done, culminating in Inter's 19th top flight title. Conte will forever remain a part of our club's history. Obviously, Lukaku paid homage to him, and apparently Lukaku's future is in doubt as a result of that as well. And I mean, I'm interested to see what happens with Conte, because again, you see, what has Napoli got a new manager? Maybe he tries something else. I would have liked to see him stay, man. Jose's there now. You know, you would have had Allegri back now. Conte would have been there. Serie A's getting all juicy again. So where he goes, I don't know. Maybe he just takes a break. Maybe he schemes on international football. It depending on what happens with the Euros. Maybe he retires. Maybe he comes to England. Maybe his hat's thrown into the ring for Real Madrid. And, you know, we've even got to look at the Barca job. You know, right now, Koeman's there, but surely he's someone who gets clamped. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure Spurs, if they could, and the Poch doesn't happen and the other targets don't happen, there's that. I'm sure as a United fan, you're sitting there and saying, why don't we go for Poch? Why don't we go for Conte? Why don't we try and get Allegri? Why don't we try and get the other guys and all of them things? It's going to be an interesting one, but Conte's kept it moving, people. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, man, really and truly. Let me scroll down. Did I have any additional notes on Conte? No, that's on Zidane. So, yeah, that's that in relation to Conte, really, man. But he worked very well in that partnership with Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. Again, is that the end of that? Conte leaves Inter Milan. So, yeah, man, we'll have to see what happens there. We'll have to see what happens there. And this is it. And this is what I'm saying, Quran. Forgive me for mispronunciation. Big up yourself for this comment, because this is that's what I'm saying earlier when I said he ain't got time for the nonsense. You know, Conte had issues with the board at Chelsea. Arsenal's board are 1,000 times more incompetent than Chelsea. Sorry. If Conte refused to put up with Chelsea and Inter, why would he put up with Arsenal? Exactly. You know, he ain't got time for that. He'll like any man, like Allegri, like Poch. Well, not Poch, but like Allegri, like Zidane, all these guys, Carlo at a time last year, these guys, when Arsenal called, they will listen, let's be real, you can banter Arsenal as much as you want. It's still an attractive club. It's still an attractive brand. But that's the problem. Once you get past the brand and the prestige and all of this, and you break down the nuts and bolts as to what is actually happening, how much money I've got, the clarity, man are going to say, I'm not on this. Or if you tell a man a lie and then Conte's not here to, bro, Conte's not going to do the Arteta thing of saying, oh, yeah, the Kroenke's this and that. He will, if he believes it, he will say it. If not, he will not say it. And that's something that the board don't want to deal with. They can't handle Conte, man. They can't handle, Arsenal board could not handle Conte because he's got nothing to lose. He wants to win stuff. He's not going to shut up and be a puppet. You could see him, maybe not through sporting failure, but you could see him coming here, and because of these rumblings, because he's not a politician in his replies and plays the game, bro, it will last a couple of months. He's not on it. Like I said earlier, when man are saying they need a midfield and you're saying, oh, well, we got El Nene on these things. He's not, I don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. He don't want to hear that, bro. If he's skating out of Inter Milan, which even if they didn't win the league, let's be real, that's a good job. That's a very good job. He ain't got time for it. So I'll be keen to see where, maybe he'll take a break, because I don't know if managers, some managers, they win something. The best remedy for them is to jump back into another project. But I don't know if he's going to jump back into another project. I don't know if the timing of him leaving Inter means he's going to be able to take the Madrid offer and whatnot, people. So it's an interesting debate. It is an interesting one. Please make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't hit that like button already, people. Where are we at in terms of likes? 138, man. 200's the target. Let's keep moving, man. Arsenal are toxic for everyone, broski. Conte is way too emotional, in my opinion. I think that's harsh. And to be fair with you, I want emotion, really. Italian man wear their heart on their sleeves, and I really like that, man. From all of the managers there, man. From Allegri, obviously Allegri's a bit more Wengerish than Conte, but I like it, man. I just think there's a serious degree of honesty with Conte, and I like that, man, because as me as an Arsenal fan, you get half-answered answers. So it would be amazing, man. Love for that, man. No, yeah, man. Love for getting your name right. I wasn't trying to disrespect. United should go for Conte, but that's another one. If United are not moving serious, he's going to say it. And to be fair, it should all be set up for him at United. I don't know for the Glazers and, you know, Glazers out for the United fans out there. I don't know for Woodward if he does a good job or not. I swear he's stepping down. But if you get a sporting director, if you have a proper structure, bro, Conte is the guy. Conte is the guy. The only thing you can get onto him is say, yo, we need to see some attacking football. I don't care how you do it, but it's not a defending thing, my guy. You can have all the wing backs you want, but it's not a defending thing, you know. Don't think about bringing Victor Moses to this club. It could be elite, but I don't think that's gonna happen, really and truly. Yeah, it's 100%. He wouldn't last, man. He's a headache. And for me, if I'm an owner, I want that headache. In the same way, Abramovich, obviously, it went down the toilet, but Abramovich was on it because that headache means I'm going to win stuff. I want that headache, but I hear you. That's what I'm saying. And, well, that's what you're agreeing with and also echoing. So, yeah, 100, man. We got William, Conte ain't coming. Hey, maybe that actually will help us, funny enough, really and truly. Conte would certainly change the mentality. I think do you know what? At Arsenal, I don't know if he would, and it's nothing to do with him. And the same way with Emre and Arteta, for all the criticisms you can give of all three managers, these players are toxic, man. You know, you can have all the ideas in the world, but if everybody's not buying into it or they start being a bit sneaky, it's not gonna last. So I don't even think he could change it. I think he could change it with the Sakas and the Tienis and the Gabriels, these new guys and the guys with mentality. He can install a next thing. But these players that have been around the block, I think they need to keep it moving, man. Oh, Saka as a Conte wingback. It might be tasty, you know. Pause. It might be elite, even though I don't really want him to be there, man. Conte would be short term for me at the moment. For me, Zidane, Poch, or Ten Hag should be the guys for us. Man, are you? I'm a bit. You know, let me know what club you're supporting, because I think we've moved away from the Poch talk, so it's hard to tell who's supporting who. So I'd love to know who you actually are supporting when you say we, so I could actually, you know, piece together that. Not even he could. Not even Ferguson could change Arsenal's, because it's a madness. It's a madness. United fan. I hear that with the Conte would be short term, but it could be longer. It could be longer. It could still be short term, but slightly longer than you imagine. Ten Hag, I hear that. Poch, I hear that. Zidane or Conte, I'm not too sure which one I prefer, because Zidane missed the Champions League. He's got a swagger about it. It just seems like he's cool with it. Conte, I like his intensity. I like his desire. I like his passion. I think that can rub off on other players and everyone around the club. But like my guy has said here, has said, the mentality comes from the top. The mentality is chasing money and not chasing success. Sadly, that could be applied to the Contes. To the Kroenkes, as you've just said, man. Man said Kepa should retire and apply for the Arsenal job. Hag is fit for the Spurs job, in my opinion. And I'm sure Spurs fans remember how good he plays football. I'm sure they're onto him. So it could be something to explore for them, in my opinion. But we'd have to see, really. So, yeah, man, moving away from that. And let's get into Zidane, people. Zidane's officially left. I'm sure you've all seen the statement come out of Real Madrid. He's left Real Madrid. Make that one. As you can see, I'm terrible at multitasking, folks. What minute are we talking about this at? Let's just say boom boom. Simeone, Conte, Zidane. Ooh, it's a tasty one. You know what? Zidane, and I don't know. I think Zidane over both of them because he's won the champs, but I like Simeone's system. I like Conte's system. Kai, that's a tough one. I'd have to really sit down and think about that, man. Zidane's the only manager that Pogba would stay at United for. Maybe. A man said Zidane is gone, so that means Odegaard is off. It doesn't, but it does mean that our task is slightly harder. But let's look at what's officially come out in relation to Zidane, people. If you lot allow me 1 second to bring this up. And I've got to zoom in as well, because this is there. I can't see none of that. That it? That could never be the people. Let me share this. This could never be. Man brought you Champions League. How much Champions Leagues and like 3 Champions Leagues in a league title? And this is your statement for Donny? Nah, this can't be the statement. From Zidane, I'm having words with Perez. This is, bro, you're giving man 4 paragraphs. Not even a picture. Raw. Have I got? Nah, this can't be it. This is a vial. Real Madrid announces that Zinedine Zidane has decided to bring an end to his current spell as head coach of our club. We must now respect his decision and express our gratitude for his professionalism, dedication, and passion over the years and what he means to Real Madrid. Zidane is one of Real Madrid's great icons, and his legacy extends beyond what he has achieved as a coach and a player at our club. I mean, he's won Champions League in both terms. He is aware that he has a place in the hearts of Real Madrid fans and that he always will have a home at Real Madrid. And I mean, he's to talk about Zidane as a footballer would be here all day. And as a manager, whatever you say, he's won Champions Leagues, he's done big boy stuff. But this does look like they need a rebuild again. I don't know if Ramos is going to stay. There's talk of Varane going. They need to, try and integrate some of these youth players, especially the young Brazilian ones they've bought, and really improve them. I personally think Odegaard could be utilized. They need to re-inject some experience in that team, the right experience, and they need some right players for the future, man. Like, they need to build around the Valverdes and things. They need to move away from some of the stagnant players that they have. So yeah, they need a new change. Who is going to be brought in? I don't know. Allegri has said, allegedly, some reports say he was ongoing Real Madrid. You lot have waited too long. Now he's on the Juventus thing. Conte is obviously going to get thrown in there. Again, you lot reminded me, if Poch is going to leave PSG, it looks like he's going to Spurs, but you got to throw his name into the Real Madrid hat. And obviously, it throws a spanner in the works, because in Arsenal's case, at least until you know who the new manager is and whether he likes or doesn't like Odegaard, what can we do? Now, apparently the board are making decisions on that regards, and players are for sale. Now, somebody mentioned Paul Pogba. 1 year left on his deal, just lost the Europa League final, is linked with Real Madrid. Maybe, what if the new manager says, I don't want Pogba? Does he go to Juventus? What if Juventus say, Allegri says, I don't want him, even though obviously I don't think that's the case. So yeah, man, if that's the only statement for Zidane, that's a bit deep. Let me check though, man. That can't be it. Swear down, that's it. No. That can't be it. That's a vial still, That's a vial, fam. I can't even sit here and lie to you, lot. That's a vial. As you lot can see here, Allegri got tired of waiting for Real Madrid and decided to join Juventus. The Spanish club will either hire Raul or Conte. So Raul might be the guy, homegrown, kind of following in what Zidane's doing. Conte proven. And again, if you're going to rebuild, then you give Conte half a chance, people. But it's a bit of a madness. A man said, would you take Ramos DG's experience? Yes, I would. But Ramos has probably got a bag of options to do that. But this is a madness, people. And let me scroll down, because The Athletic offered some opinions as well. Not none of this, though, folks. Zidane is leaving his position as Real Madrid manager. The Athletic understands Allegri, Conte, and Raul are the candidates for the job. And as we kind of seen there, you can delete my man's name, because apparently he is going to Juventus. And if I just move it here and slap his name in there, I'm pretty sure we'll see something. In fact, yeah, as you see it right there, people. Maximiliano Allegri to replace Andrea Pirlo, who needed to go, in return to the club as a manager. Allegri is expected to sign a contract with Juventus in the next 24 hours. As you lot know, Pirlo failed to deliver a Serie A title, and yeah, man, he only secured a Champions League spot on the final day, and they did exit the Champions League to Porto in a disgraceful fashion from their perspective. So Pirlo needed to go. It looked like he was shaping it up. Allegri's the proven man with experience. Apparently, Allegri is expected to sign a contract within the next 24 hours. The 53-year-old has been out of work since May 2019, when he left Juventus, people, to be replaced by Sarri. We all know Pirlo failed. So yeah, he's also led Juventus to 2 Champions League finals. He's gone the furthest of everybody. So yeah, he's returning. Pirlo's on the market. Who will take Pirlo? I don't know. But scrolling back, so obviously that means you're no longer in the fold, people. Apparently, well, you already know Zidane was calling time on his career, people. He's won the Champions League 3 times. He rejoined the club himself in 2019. He leaves 1 year before his deal expires, so surely he picks up a decent paycheck there, pay packet. As you lot know, Raul, who's been doing his thing in the youth academy, is being linked. Surely Guti's got to be on them coaching staff, people. Apparently, in relation to Conte Conte is an elite coach and has held talks with Real Madrid on a few occasions previously, coming closest to taking the job when Luke Lopetegui was fired in 2018. His compatriot Allegri, however, might be the favourite. Allegri put his name into the frame for the job at Madrid, as well as a return to former club Juventus. And those close to him believe he has a strong chance of taking over at the Spanish Giants. Well, it can't be strong enough. In relation to what could be next for Zinedine Zidane, should Pirlo leave, which he has left, Zidane is being linked with Juventus, people, really and truly. As you don't know, and somebody said in the live chat as well, Deschamps' contract runs until the end of 2022. So he might be able to, he might get a look in depending on what happens there, or maybe he steps away from the game. I don't know, people, but that's going to be a very interesting one. / Allegri returns to Juve. So that's going to be a very interesting one, in my opinion, folks. We're going to have to see what happens in that regards. There. So, yeah, what are you guys saying? Please make sure the 281 of you are hitting the like button, people. Where are we at now? 162. There's 283 in here. So, again, pattern that up. Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid. He did look close to going to Gladbach, but it didn't happen, man. 8 day building a new stadium and got massive debts. I don't know for Real Madrid off the field, my guy. You know, you'd have to... somebody that's a little less ignorant to the matter than me would have to clue us both up on that. I don't have a clue. No sentiment there at all. Bro, they did Zidane dirty. I couldn't believe that. Like, no, like 3 Champions Leagues, a league title, and all you're giving, man, is four thingies, 4 paragraphs, not even putting my little picture up there and stuff like that. This shows you it's ruthless. This is why we say for players and managers, do the right decision. Don't fall for this loyalty business, because loyalty will get you sacked. Loyalty will make you like Kane. You know, being loyal to Spurs, yeah, Spurs fans will remember him in that. But when he's sitting on his retirement home or on his deathbed and he ain't won a league title, he hasn't fulfilled what he wanted with his life. And what, as you will see with legends, when you overstay, you know, you'll get a testimonial. But when your time's come, your time's gone. This is why I always say, when you can control the variables, go and control that, man. That's what I would say, man. Then that they done Zidane dirty. Do you think Saka will make the 26-man squad for the Euros? I hope so. It's a disgrace if he doesn't. Why was Allegri sacked in the first place? You'd have to ask a Juventus fan. I'm not clued up on that matter at all. So again, wasn't he sacked? Didn't he step down in the aftermath of the Champions League final once? I swear Dani Alves left, Bonucci left, and he left. I might be talking was and making it all up, people, but I'm sure that's what happened. Trying to find it for you guys, people. And actually, because why do I feel like he's been the manager 3 times for Juventus, but it's only probably been 2? That's why I think it's 3, because he's been the Milan gaffer. So yeah, he's managed them, man, twice. It's all calm. Or well, once, but you get the point. But I would love Allegri at Arsenal, man. But them man, bro, these 30 managers, it only makes sense having a 30 manager if you've got 30 backroom staff, so you're doing 30 things. But we're not doing 30 things, people. Quite a, it's a bit mad how the transfer talk if managers right now is doing a lot more than the players. But hopefully that thing happens, man. Yeah, everyone keeps saying I look like I'm wearing a Spurs shirt. Lyland Scott thing. Who knows, man? They do say I look like Burge White, you know. Maybe we are the same, man. Who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, man, there isn't actually anything else groundbreaking or anything. I'm trying to find stuff, people, for you guys. It is what it is. We might as well talk about England, people, because I want to talk about the England squad with you, lot. 58 in an England side. 1 p.m. looking to be entertaining. I was watching the rants and bant stream last night. Is it still on though, man? Dressed up for the topic. Trust me. A man said take them off. Hey, Daniel, you know, women are the only ones that can get me stripping, my guy. I don't know if I'm going to do that for the man them watching right now, but allow me, man. Calm down, broski. I know I'm sexy, but let's relax a bit. It's not that deep and that. It's a bit booky. Yeah, man. Let's look at England quickly, man. Are you disappointed there's barely any Arsenal players at England anymore? Well, we'd all want them there, but no, I don't really care, if I'm honest with you. Like, I just want Arsenal. All them sort of things there are separate. I just want Arsenal back to being a half decent football club, and it's lovely to have Saka there. Never actually seen DG and Bergwijn in the same room. Allow me, man. Like, you didn't see me on the last day of the season. My man's in Leicester. I'm streaming from my room. I hear you though. Agendas, man. Get DG on pens, confidence through the roof. I'm confident guy, but boy, when it comes to pens, you can tell my nationality because the goal starts getting smaller. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm not really on it. I only took I've taken a pen in 2 penalty shootouts, and the only time I've taken them is when when it's gone through everybody, like yesterday, it's gone through everybody. You have to take one. I'll take one in a normal game. I'm not trying to take one when it's high pressured. That's the only thing in the high pressured stakes I get nervous about, if that makes sense, man. Apparently you can't breathe if you bite your lips. Do that and tell me what happens, my guy. You thought I was gonna attempt to do that? Myth. Like, oh, what that? But moving forward, people, and if I go and look at the England squad now, I do think Gareth Southgate is being attacked unnecessarily at times, but then I just think we're just doing things different. Now, I know there's a couple of fitness doubts, so that might be why there's a bigger squad, but everybody's announcing their squad time ago. We're announcing ours now. Everybody's announcing their 26. We have to announce a 33. We love to do things differently, man. A man said DG stands for De Gea. Anyways, people, when you look at this 33-man squad, how many men have to get cut? Like what? 7 man or something like that have to get cut? That 7, 8 man, something like that. I don't even know. But looking at that squad, I'm not too sure, man. It's a bit of a mad one still. Like, who would get cut for me? Let's copy and paste it, man, because it makes it easier than looking at the BBC's website. I was thinking, who the hell would I clip from this side? And sorry, let me scroll up a bit. You know, maybe we should zoom out so we can see it all. Yeah, that's a lot better. But this is the squad. So I'm going to highlight names I would kick out. In fact, let me start with the names I would keep in the club, man. Only 26 can go. Cool. Yeah, bro. Do you see why? Do you know why? Yeah, Marks, you're right. Tomori not being involved is an absolute travesty. But for me, when I deep it, can I be surprised? Because look how long it took to call up Jude Bellingham. Look how long it really took to bring up Jadon Sancho, 2 men that are playing abroad. It took a minute. So can I be surprised that although he should be called up, I don't know. I don't want to be naive and say we're not, but are we watching international football? We must be if you're keeping tabs on Kieran Trippier. But are we a bit lazy in that regards? I don't know, man. And I know, and Southgate's gone from saying that Trent might not be going to now saying he can be used in midfield. Something we've all been saying on this channel and everything else, man. Looking at this squad, let me start with the names I truly believe. And I see a lot of you lot with your opinions, man, are saying Tyrone Mings would not be here if he was right-footed. Let's be honest. Holding should have been in this squad. It doesn't matter who goes to the Euros. Southgate will cock up the tactics anyways. Willock should have been in contention. No English midfielder getting goals like him, maybe on form. Like he said, no Tomori's a crime. I don't want Saka to go. He needs rest. Personally, I want him to go. Ben Godfrey over Tomori. To be fair, I'm not with that. I'm not with that instead. I mean, I'm not against it. Ben Godfrey, I like him, but I mean, you got Ben White there. Mings is meaty. You lot made me think I don't know ball, and I was telling you lot he's shit. Pardon my language. Eric Dyer can hold 30 plus appearance for England, but Holding can't get it looking. So yeah, man, if we look at this squad, for me, only 3 keepers can go in it. So I don't really rate none of these goalies, but for me, Dean Henderson, if I could, you'd be first choice. Realistically, Pickford is going. Pope's not in the squad. Pardon me. You know what? I'd rather take Sam Johnson than Aaron Ramsdale, you know. You was looking 30 last season. You're looking a bit booky this year. And maybe that's because the whole team's playing poor. You probably will get a move in the Prem. I'd probably take Sam Johnson. I know your team got relegated as well. I know you're a bit... I don't really rate both of you like that, but I would probably say that. Centre half, well, defenders who would go for me. Shaw's form means he goes for me. I think Shaw's had a good season. John Stones goes for me. Don't know why we wouldn't try and use Declan Rice as a sort of one like that either as well. But I would take John Stones. Harry Maguire goals if fit. Again, that's why I think he selected a 33-man squad, because there's issues over Henderson, Maguire, and there's probably another name. If they're not fit enough, then I think them man will get dropped out and other people will get brought in. You lot go for me. You two go for me. Again, Kyle Walker could be used as a centre half. I don't think there's a need for all of these fullbacks. I can't lie. I am a fullback, so I'm going to say Reece James. Connor Cody, I have to skip you out a bit. I think we have to come back to these centre halves, people. Chilwell, we need another left back, so you go for me. I should have done them in green, innit? But they're the ones that are going for me so far. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 names so far. I've only 2 centre halves there, but Kyle Walker goes for me as one. I just want to go through everyone I'm actually going to bring. Mount goals, should be building a team around him, Foden and Grealish. You go if fit. You go for me. I think I'll cut Lingard personally. Ward-Prowse probably goes for me. Calvin Phillips, it all depends. You go. Well, to be fair with you, I was about to say everyone. You lot go. I bring you because you're a star boy. Then you've got the real star boy in Bukayo Saka. He goes for me. And you can't bring out the other. You can't forget the other star boy. So they're the assurances for me if I look at it, man. So yeah, how many have we got here, people? We've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 21, 22, 23. There's 23 there, right? I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure my maths is poor, but there's 23 names. 23, 24, and you can only bring a 24-man squad. So one more man could come for me. Lingard gets left off the plane for me. Like, I hear it, his form's been good, but nah, man. I think I've got enough attacking areas. Ollie Watkins, I'm taking Calvert-Lewin because he gives us a plan B. Ollie Watkins, I don't really feel this level is for you. I wouldn't mind Calvin Phillips as another defender. So, as another midfield option. So he's going to go in orange. Ben White, you get clipped for me. Probably could bring Ben Godfrey if my maths is right and there is an extra space. You need a centre half. He probably will bring Trippier. I don't see a need for Trippier. It's a bit harsh, but I don't see a need. Kyle Walker can play as a centre half. You've got fullbacks galore: Reece James, Trent, Chilwell, Shaw, who can also play as a member of the back three as well. It is what it is, man. I'd probably bring Ben Godfrey. He probably will opt for Cody though. So that would be it for me, really and truly, man. Yeah, 26 man. Yeah, you can bring 26 man. So I've got 2 more spaces, I guess, in it. So it'd probably be Calvin Phillips for one. And I'd probably bring a centre half, personally. There's no point taking wrong colour for Ben White. No, because he's left out, bro. Like, I'm not taking him. Phillips can play centre half as well. So maybe drop 2, 3 defenders. I like my defenders, man. I don't think this level is for Watkins, man. It's a bit long. Willock should have been in the 30-man squad. Yeah, but he's just going to be there to make up the numbers, man. Personally. Cody's had a poor season. I don't really rate him. Mate, just there in terms of leadership qualities, man. It's probably there in terms of leadership qualities. We are stacked up front, but our centre-back / centre-mid is looking light. Trust, man. Ben White has to go best centre-back in the league. I like Ben White, but I wouldn't even bring Saka. Ben, you want to get blocked in it? No, Saka negative slander. We're completely biased in that regards. Completely biased in that regards. But I'll banter with you lot, man. But that's where I would go in terms of that, man. Somebody said, oh, your comment's gone, Twitch gang. You said you thought it was harsh on Maddison and Bamford. Maddison, yeah. Bamford, I wouldn't have taken him. Unfair to Wan-Bissaka. Realistically, Reece James and Trent are going to offer a lot more in the back three than him, as is Kyle Walker. So he's shagged already in that regard. So he's a myth, really. So that's what goes against him. I don't think it's harsh, really. But fair play. I respect everyone's opinions. So with that, means 108.30. That's the England side. That's the timestamps. On that note, though, we've got nothing else to speak about, people. So I'm going to be back for this at 1 p.m. I'm going to be on Rancy's show. I'll probably be a bit late because I need to eat and do stuff. But yeah, man. On that note, please make sure you're hitting the like button. I'm gonna have to love and leave you guys, people. Where are we at in terms of likes? 191. So 9 of you need to do your jobs, people. On that note, I'm in, man. Man said no Jordan Henderson. I'd bring him if fit. Bamford Watkins. Neither one goes for me, Dominic. That's it personally. When's the next podcast? It should be tomorrow, Friday. Well, one's already come out, so pre that, but it should be tomorrow, Friday. But I'm gonna love and leave you guys, though, man. People. A man said, nice Spurs top. It's a Lyland Scott, an old Lyland Scott top. I couldn't have picked a better time to wear it. You know, natural color coordination and them thing there. But I'll see you lot on my channel at 3 p.m. If you're on Rancy's show, you're on Rancy's show. But for now, people, DG.